Ever wish those no soliciting signs were like a joke?
Yeah.
What if closing a deal was easy, like offering dessert first, you know?
Hmm.
Sounds crazy, right? But that's the kind of thinking you find in Jeffrey Gitomer's The Sales Bible.
Oh, it's full of those surprising tactics. Absolutely.
Timeless truths about sales, you know?
Yeah. This revised edition, it's all about succeeding no matter what the economy is like. And that's what we're diving deep into today.
Unpacking those 39.5 rules for success, any salesperson's dream.
We'll even touch on using humor.
Right. Oh, yeah. Humor's got to be it.
And we'll expose why that whole thinking it over thing. It's more of a stall tactic than a real objection.
Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about sales, because this deep dive, it's giving you the tools to really up your game.
One of the most fascinating things Gitomer does, he lays out this formula. Attitude plus humor plus action equal sales success.
Makes sense. Those are the building blocks.
And he backs it up with a statistic. 85%, a whopping 85% of your success, determined by your mindset.
85%. That's massive. It really makes you think about the power of our thoughts, right?
It does. You know, Gitomer compares it to that Vince Lombardi quote, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. But he says, a better truth? Having an attitude for winning.
It's like cultivating that winning mindset.
Exactly. Setting yourself up for success.
So how do we actually do that? It's so easy to get caught up in negativity, you know?
Oh, especially now.
You see the news, dwell on rejections.
You hit the nail on the head. Gitomer says, take a look at where your attention's going. Are you bombarded with negative news all the time? Dwelling on past failures?
It's hard not to sometimes.
Because that negativity gets in your head. You know,
Yeah.
It can really impact your performance.
So what's the antidote? How do we fight that?
Conscious choice. Focus on the positive. Setting those clear goals. Visualizing success.
I like that. Visualize it.
Surround yourself with supportive people. People who lift you up.
Gotta have that good energy around you. Okay, so I'm working on my attitude, watching less news. What's next in this formula?
Humor. Gitomer thinks it's one of the biggest secrets to sales success.
I can see how a joke could break the ice, but how does that actually, close deals?
It's about rapport. Creating a memorable experience. Think about it. You make someone laugh, they're more likely to remember you, feel comfortable with you, and ultimately trust you.
Yeah, it makes you more likable, right?
Exactly.
But there's a risk, too, isn't there? Humor can backfire.
100%. You got to be aware of your audience. Nothing offensive, nothing inappropriate.
You gotta read the room.
Timing is key, too. A joke at the wrong time can kill a sale.
So, powerful tool, but use it carefully. Okay, attitude, humor, we got those down. What about the action part of this formula?
This is where Gitomer gets into the nitty-gritty. Prospecting, presenting, handling those objections, closing. He's big on having a process, a plan.
Makes sense. That structure keeps you focused, right? Especially when things get busy.
Absolutely.
But what about adaptability? Sales is always changing, especially in a down economy.
Oh, you're right. And Gitomer gets that. He knows those old rules, they don't always apply anymore.
You gotta keep up with the times.
He actually lays out 24.5 strategies specifically for a tough economy.
24.5, that's a lot to unpack. What are those strategies all about, broadly speaking?
Being adaptable, putting the customer first, and always exceeding expectations.
So it's all connected, right? You start with the right attitude, use humor to connect, and then you take action, but stay adaptable.
You got it. But it's not just reading about these strategies, it's using them.
Putting them into practice. Now, one thing that really stood out to me in the Sales Bible, Gitomer's emphasis on building buyer confidence. He's adamant that the lowest price doesn't automatically win the sale.
He actually says a low price can scare people off, especially if they don't trust the product or the company.
Yeah, you start thinking, what's the catch?
Exactly. Why is it so cheap?
So how do you build that confidence?
Gitomer has some tips. One is, have a list of satisfied customers ready to go.
Almost like testimonials.
It's social proof. It shows potential buyers that others have had good experiences.
Takes away that uncertainty.
He also talks about focusing on the long term, building relationships, not just making quick sales.
So, becoming a trusted advisor.
That's the idea, someone they can rely on.
Especially in a tough economy, that loyalty is everything.
Absolutely. And it ties back to customer service, which Gitomer spends a lot of time on.
What are some of his big takeaways about customer service?
He says, satisfying customers. Not enough anymore. You need to create raving fans.
Fans will come back for more, tell their friends.
Exactly. He even has a stat. A disgruntled customer. They'll tell 20 times more people about their bad experience than a happy customer will about a good one.
Wow, that's eye-opening. Really emphasizes going above and beyond.
Right.
But how do you go beyond just satisfactory service?
Gitomer calls it the 12 attributes of outstanding customer service. It covers everything from like genuine dedication
You can't fake that.
to empowering your employees to actually solve customer problems, even if it means bending the rules a little,
So it's not just following a script, it's truly caring about the customer.
and finding ways to make their experience exceptional.
He also talks about complaints being valuable, which is not something you hear every day.
Right. Most people dread complaints.
For sure.
But Gitomer's point is, a customer complains. They're giving you a chance to strengthen the relationship,
It's an opportunity to turn things around.
to show that you're reliable, responsive, committed to their satisfaction.
So before we get into Gitomer's closing techniques and all that, I want to go back to something you said earlier. Sales being more than a job, it's a way of life.
Oh, that's a big one for him. He believes those sales principles, confidence, humor, relationships, adaptability, they apply to everything.
Not just work, but life in general.
He gives examples throughout the book, like asking the right questions. That
Mm.
applies to understanding your partner's needs.
Makes sense. And the puppy dog close. Convincing your kids to try new foods.
He even talks about follow-up, staying connected with friends and family.
It's pretty cool, right? A book about sales can have these deep insights into personal growth. But I think that's what makes the Sales Bible so interesting. It's more than just closing deals. It's about living a better life.
That's a great way to put it. It's about being more effective in everything you do.
Building stronger relationships. Achieving greater success, no matter what your goals are.
Exactly.
So we've talked about building that confidence, incredible customer service. What about actually closing the deal?
Right. The heart of it all.
Kittimer breaks down all these closing techniques,
He does, yeah.
but there's one that's really clever. The puppy dog close.
Oh, it's a classic.
What's the thinking there?
Imagine you're at a car dealership. You just read some brochures.
Okay.
Versus you take the car for a spin. Which one makes you more likely to buy?
Oh, definitely after the test drive.
Right.
You're behind the wheel.
Yeah.
We're picturing yourself owning it. It's not such a big leap anymore.
Exactly. That's the psychology Gitomer's talking about. Giving the customer a taste, whether it's a test drive, a free trial of software.
Even like a sample at a bakery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They feel like they already own it. And that breaks down resistance before you even talk about the sale.
It's subtle, but powerful.
It really is. And it works everywhere. Think about all those try before you buy offers you see.
All the time.
They're using this principle.
Gitomer also emphasizes that closing isn't about pressure.
Right. No hard sell.
It's more about guiding the customer.
Helping them make the right decision.
He's big on asking questions, right?
Oh, yeah. Uncover their needs, their concerns, figure out what they really want.
So you can tailor your pitch.
Exactly. It becomes less about selling, more about a conversation.
Understanding their perspective.
Being able to adjust, too. Sometimes you got to
Oh.
pivot, address a new concern. You got to read the room.
Adaptability. Speaking of which, let's talk about networking.
Another area where Gitomer shines.
He sees it as more than just events and business cards.
He calls it the challenge of making contacts. It's strategic.
So having a plan, a purpose.
Absolutely. He stresses quality over quantity. It's not about how many people you meet. It's about making real connections.
With the right people.
People who could become clients or refer you to others.
So how do you move beyond that surface level? How do you actually make those connections?
He has some good advice. Positioning yourself strategically at events.
Okay.
Starting conversations with open-ended questions. And really listening.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk. He also has this idea, top-down selling.
Oh, yeah. That's about targeting the decision makers.
Yeah.
Why start at the bottom?
Go straight to the top.
Yeah.
I like the ambition, but how do you even get in front of those people?
Gitomer gives you a step-by-step guide. Research the company, figure out who the key players are,
Okay.
craft a pitch that resonates with them.
Makes sense. But what if you're not aiming for the C-suite? Is it still worth networking with people at all levels?
Of course. And that's where elevator selling comes in. Being ready to capitalize on any encounter, even a quick one.
Like literally in an elevator.
Exactly. He wants salespeople to be able to deliver a short, compelling pitch. Capture someone's attention. Leave them wanting more.
So always be ready.
Always be ready.
And that ties into something else Gitomer talks about, those no soliciting signs. He sees them as opportunities, which is surprising.
It is. Most people see them as roadblocks.
Go away.
But he says those signs often signal fear. Fear of pressure. Fear of being tricked.
So how do you turn that fear into a sale?
Be respectful. persistent,
Yeah.
but most importantly, offer value up front.
So you're not pushing a product, you're offering a solution.
Precisely. It's about challenging those assumptions, finding creative ways to overcome objections. He even suggests putting a sign on your company's door that says, "Solicitors welcome."
Bold move. But it definitely says you're open to new connections.
It does. Now, as we wrap up, I want to go back to that idea of sales being more than a job, a way of life.
We talked about this a bit, but I'd love to hear more about how he applies those principles to personal growth.
Well, Kittimer believes those skills that make you successful in sales, confidence, humor, relationships, adaptability, they apply to everything.
Makes sense? Confidence helps you socially. Humor diffuses tension. Relationships are the foundation of a happy life.
Exactly. He gives real-world examples, like asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Helps you understand your partner's needs.
Okay, yeah.
The puppy-dog close.
Yeah.
Might convince your kids to try new foods.
I like that.
And follow-up. Keeps you connected with friends and family.
It's pretty amazing that a sales book can have these insights into life.
It is. But that's what makes the Sales Bible so valuable. It's more than just closing deals. It's about living a better life overall.
It's amazing how much this book covers, right? It goes way beyond just closing deals.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a life philosophy almost.
It really is. Which brings us to this idea of the new breed of salesperson.
Yeah, Kittimer talks about that a lot.
What makes them different, this new breed? We're so used to that image of the pushy salesperson, you know?
Oh, yeah, the stereotype. Kittimer says that's outdated now.
Things have changed.
The most successful salespeople today, they're not just pushing products, they're consultants, problem solvers.
You're partners, almost.
Exactly. It's about building those genuine relationships with customers.
It makes sense. Buyers are so much more informed these days.
They do their research.
They're not looking to be pressured. They want guidance.
They want solutions tailored to their needs. And Kittimer is a perfect example of this. Bob Selvin. He sells dental equipment.
Okay, what's so special about him?
This guy, he's built a huge business, but his focus is on trust and value. He really takes the time to understand his customers.
He listens.
And he helps them find the best solution, even if it means suggesting a competitor's product sometimes.
Wow, that's putting the customer first, for sure.
It takes a lot of confidence to do that. But it speaks volumes about building those long-term relationships. It's not just about the quick sale.
It's about the bigger picture. So how do we adapt to all this? How do we become this new breed of salesperson?
Well, Kittimer gives us a roadmap. He talks about the key trends shaping the future of sales. Technology is a big one.
Oh, yeah. CRMs, social media, online platforms. It's changing everything.
Kittimer says we need to embrace these tools. Think about it. You can reach a global audience online. Personalize your messages. Track everything you do.
It's pretty amazing how technology has leveled the playing field. Small businesses can compete with the big guys now.
Absolutely. And then there's e-commerce.
Yeah.
Salespeople have to adapt to that digital landscape. It's not just about face-to-face anymore.
You have to be comfortable online, build relationships digitally.
And create a seamless buying experience across all these different platforms, which means personalization is more important than ever.
It seems like everyone expects that now.
Whether you're buying clothes, booking a trip, even choosing a dentist, you want that tailored experience. And Kittimer gives you strategies for that. Gathering data about your customers, segmenting your audience, crafting those personalized messages.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Not anymore. It's about understanding what makes each customer unique. Their pain points, their goals.
Figuring out how you can help them succeed.
Exactly. And that also means building your personal brand, standing out from the crowd,
Becoming an expert.
sharing valuable content, building that reputation for honesty and authenticity.
It's all connected. Now, in his final chapter, Kittimer has this powerful message. He wants us to see selling not just as a job, but as a commitment to excellence.
In everything you do.
It's about striving to be your best self, both in work and in life.
He reminds us that all those principles, confidence, humor, relationships, adaptability, they apply to everything.
It's that sales mindset applied to life, setting goals, overcoming obstacles, building those win-win relationships.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Sales Bible, remember this. Embrace the challenge of selling.
Never stop learning.
Never stop growing. Keep pushing yourself to be better.
Because when you do that, success follows naturally, not just in sales, but in life as well.
Absolutely.
If you made it to the end of the video, thanks so much for listening. If you want to get the book for yourself, use the link in the description. If you're looking to level up your income, schedule a one-on-one with me to see if what I do might be right for you. Remember, like if you like the content and share so we can all become more book buff and life smart. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks so much for listening. If you want to get the book for yourself, use the link in the description. If you're looking to level up your income, schedule a one-on-one with me to see if what I do might be right for you. Remember, like if you like the content and share so we can all become more book buff and life smart.